It was a quiet afternoon in the city, the kind where most people were wrapped in their routines, oblivious to what was happening around them. But in one small street, tension hung like a storm cloud. A police officer, fueled by arrogance and prejudice, had fixated on a black woman walking calmly along the sidewalk. He believed he could intimidate her, perhaps even strike her without consequence. What he didn't know was that she was far from powerless. This was not an ordinary confrontation, and the seconds that followed would change everything. Welcome back to Talecraft, the channel where we explore real stories that reveal courage, injustice, and surprising twists. And if this is your first time here, let me ask you something. What would you do if someone tried to attack your loved one in public? Think about it for a moment. Would you freeze, fight back, or wait for help to arrive? Stories like this remind us why preparation, vigilance, and support matter. If you're ready to see a story that blends tension, courage, and justice, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to stay updated. Here's the story in brief. A seemingly routine day turned dangerous in an instant. The cop, blinded by arrogance and bias, crossed the line. He advanced toward the woman, verbal threats spilling from his mouth, and in one reckless motion, attempted to strike her. But what he didn't anticipate was how quickly events would escalate. Seconds mattered. Lives hung in the balance. And just when it seemed that all control was in the wrong hands, help arrived in a form no one expected. Her husband, trained and ready for the unimaginable, intervened before harm could be done. Why does this story matter? It exposes more than a single incident of police misconduct or racial bias. It demonstrates the fragility of public trust, the dangers faced by ordinary citizens, and the impact of courage paired with vigilance. It reminds us that appearances can be deceiving, and that assumptions about power or authority can lead to grave miscalculations. Today we'll walk through the tense moments, reveal the unexpected hero, and reflect on what this story teaches us about awareness, bravery, and justice. Her name was Angela Davis, and to anyone who knew her, she was the embodiment of calm strength. She moved through life with a quiet confidence, a presence that commanded respect without demanding it. Angela worked as a project manager at a nonprofit organization, helping communities rebuild and thrive. Children, families, and colleagues admired her patience, intelligence, and empathy. Yet beneath the surface of her daily routines was a woman shaped by challenges that most would find overwhelming. Her past had instilled in her a sense of discipline, awareness, and resilience that went far beyond ordinary life. People often underestimated her because of her composed demeanor, but those who did quickly learned that calm could conceal unshakable strength. Every morning Angela rose early, her routine meticulous. She prepared her meals, checked her emails, and mapped out the day with precision. To outsiders it was simply organization, but for her, it was preparation. Each step was deliberate, designed to ensure she could handle whatever life threw her way. Even during her commute, she remained aware of her surroundings, noting details most would miss. Her mindfulness was second nature, a skill honed over years of navigating spaces where caution and perception were essential. It wasn't paranoia, it was self-preservation paired with intelligence, a habit that allowed her to remain in control even when the unexpected arose. Angela's life extended far beyond her career. She volunteered at local shelters, mentored young adults, and led community workshops that emphasized self-confidence and empowerment. Her presence inspired others to believe in their own potential. People gravitated toward her because she combined warmth with authority, kindness with discipline. Yet this influence also made her a target for those who sought to exploit weakness or challenge authority. The racist cop who later confronted her did not see a woman committed to her community. He saw someone he assumed he could intimidate, someone he believed would be silent, fearful, and compliant. That assumption would soon prove catastrophic for him. Those who truly knew Angela understood that she was unyielding when provoked. Her composure was paired with strategic thinking, quick reflexes, and a deep understanding of human behavior. She could read situations, anticipate movements, and act decisively when necessary. These were skills rarely visible to strangers but vital in moments of danger. The cop's aggression would soon collide with a woman who was not only aware but capable of responding in ways he could never predict. She wasn't looking for conflict, yet she had the tools to handle it, and her awareness of potential threats made her almost impossible to catch off guard. Most importantly, Angela had a support system few people could claim. Her husband, a highly trained FBI agent, was her partner in life and in vigilance. Though she valued independence, their combined skills created a safety net and a deterrent against injustice. She knew that, if necessary, help could arrive instantly, and the balance of power would shift dramatically. This foundation of personal strength, community influence, and a trusted support network would soon become crucial, as events unfolded in ways neither she nor anyone else could forget. The stage was set, and the confrontation that would follow was about to test every ounce of her preparation and resilience. That it started as a normal afternoon for Angela, walking home from a community meeting, her bag slung over her shoulder. She noticed the police car slowly trailing behind, the driver's gaze sharp and calculating. At first she assumed it was routine. But something about the officer's demeanor felt wrong. His eyes followed her every movement, and his posture radiated hostility. Angela's instincts immediately kicked in. She scanned the street, noting exits, bystanders, and potential witnesses. Something in the air was off, a tension that she recognized from experiences where caution mattered. She adjusted her pace, keeping calm while preparing herself mentally for what might come next. Without warning, the officer stepped out of the car aggressively, blocking her path. His voice was sharp, accusatory, and dripping with condescension. "What are you doing here?" he demanded. Angela froze for just a fraction of a second before responding with measured composure. "I'm on my way home." "Is there a problem, officer?" she asked, her voice calm but firm. The officer's arrogance flared. He misinterpreted her calm as weakness. A spark of anger crossed his face, and he raised his hand as if to strike. Seconds stretched, tension hanging heavy in the air as pedestrians nearby noticed the escalating scene. Angela didn't flinch. She instinctively shifted her stance slightly, maintaining a safe distance while signaling with her eyes for potential help. She understood that confrontation with authority required precise action, patience, and awareness. Every movement she made was deliberate, every word carefully chosen to avoid unnecessary escalation. Yet her calm confidence only seemed to irritate the officer further. His anger bubbled, and the surrounding witnesses began to murmur, sensing that the situation was teetering dangerously close to violence. In that moment, the officer lunged toward her, his fist swinging. Angela reacted instantly, stepping back with agility and keeping her composure intact. The motion was subtle, precise, almost instinctual. She had trained herself to anticipate sudden attacks, and her reflexes allowed her to avoid harm without creating a scene. The officer's aggression, meant to intimidate, faltered against her calculated calm. His overconfidence became his weakness, and his misjudgment of her ability to respond placed him on the defensive, even as he tried to assert dominance. Witnesses gasped, some taking out their phones to record the encounter. Angela remained unshaken, using her eyes and body language to communicate both awareness and authority. She did not provoke, she did not retaliate, yet she made it clear that she would not be a victim. Every second mattered, and she knew that reinforcement was near. Her training in situational awareness had prepared her to hold the line until help arrived. Almost as if on cue, a vehicle approached rapidly down the street. Angela's husband, an FBI agent, had been alerted to the situation and was closing in. The officer, completely unaware of who he was confronting, continued to act aggressively, oblivious to the forces about to shift the balance entirely. Angela remained calm, her eyes narrowing slightly, as she prepared for the moment the intervention would arrive. The tension in the street reached a breaking point. Pedestrians stopped, some frozen with fear, others ready to witness the outcome. The officer raised his voice once more, threatening and condescending, unaware that the world was about to change in a single moment. Angela's training, composure, and awareness had kept her safe for these critical seconds, and the arrival of her husband would soon ensure that the confrontation was resolved decisively. The sound of an approaching vehicle grew louder, and Angela's husband, Marcus Davis, stepped from his car with practiced precision. An FBI agent by trade, he had been trained to respond to crises swiftly and decisively. His eyes scanned the scene instantly, taking in the aggressive officer, the tense pedestrians, and his wife, standing calmly but aware. Every step he took radiated authority, a quiet force that immediately shifted the energy on the street. The cop, still unaware of who he had tried to strike, froze mid-motion as Marcus assessed the situation with cold, professional calculation. "Sir, step back and remain calm," Marcus commanded, his voice calm yet firm. The officer's bravado faltered as he realized this was no ordinary bystander. The presence of a trained federal agent changed everything. Angela remained composed, standing just behind him, her posture relaxed but alert. Marcus's arrival was precise and controlled, ensuring safety without unnecessary confrontation. Pedestrians watched in awe as the dynamic shifted instantly. The once threatening cop now faced a professional who understood authority, strategy, and law enforcement far better than he could imagine. Marcus approached methodically, maintaining a safe distance while assessing potential threats. Every movement was deliberate, demonstrating control over the situation. The officer's arrogance melted into uncertainty as Marcus revealed not just his presence, but also his capability. The tension in the air was palpable. The power dynamic had shifted entirely. Angela's composure paired with her husband's professionalism created an unassailable defense. The cop's initial aggression, intended to dominate and intimidate, had been neutralized by awareness, training, and support, all in a matter of seconds. Without escalating further, Marcus guided the situation toward resolution. He ensured Angela's safety while documenting the officer's actions, maintaining professionalism at every step. Bystanders recorded the encounter, and the evidence of misconduct became undeniable. The cop's mistakes had compounded under the scrutiny of someone trained to handle high-pressure incidents. He realized too late that underestimating Angela, and the combined strength of her and her husband, was a catastrophic error. What began as aggression and arrogance had turned into humiliation, accountability, and lessons learned the hard way. Angela and Marcus maintained calm authority throughout. She never raised her voice, never panicked. He never needed to use force. Together they demonstrated the power of preparation, awareness, and measured response. The cop, now shaken and embarrassed, understood the consequences of his actions would extend beyond this encounter. The street, once tense with potential violence, was now filled with silent admiration from witnesses. It was a clear reversal. The aggressor was disarmed not by confrontation, but by skill, planning, and unwavering composure. As they walked away side by side, the lesson was unmistakable. Strength, vigilance, and trust in capable allies can protect against even the most reckless threats. Angela's courage and Marcus's expertise ensured justice and safety in real time, teaching viewers that preparation and awareness are vital. This incident would not only impact those involved but also leave a powerful message. Underestimating ordinary people, especially those who are trained, resilient, and supported, can have consequences no aggressor is prepared to face. The confrontation was over, but the lessons lingered. Angela and Marcus had faced a situation that could have ended tragically, yet their preparation, composure, and training ensured a safe outcome. What seemed like an ordinary street encounter had revealed extraordinary courage and discipline. Angela's calm in the face of aggression, combined with Marcus's swift, professional response, demonstrated how awareness and vigilance can prevent disaster. It was a story not just of survival but of empowerment, a reminder that courage often shows itself quietly, in precise and calculated ways. This story matters because it exposes the dangers of prejudice, abuse of authority, and underestimation. The officer's arrogance and impulsive behavior could have caused irreparable harm, yet it was countered by intelligence and preparedness. Angela's example reminds us that strength isn't always visible. It can be quiet, composed, and backed by knowledge and skill. Marcus's arrival shows the power of trusted allies and the importance of knowing how to respond effectively in emergencies. Together, their actions turned potential tragedy into a lesson for all. For viewers, the takeaway is clear. In moments of danger, calm and preparedness are powerful. Panic can cloud judgment, but awareness, strategic thinking, and trust in capable support can protect against harm. Angela and Marcus didn't escalate. They controlled the situation through skill and foresight. This principle extends beyond extreme scenarios. It's about mindfulness, vigilance, and resilience in everyday life. Knowing your strengths, recognizing threats, and having a plan can make all the difference when the unexpected arises. At Tailcraft, we share stories like this to inspire, teach, and spark conversation. What would you have done in Angela's shoes? Could you remain calm, assess the danger, and act strategically? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights contribute to a broader discussion about courage, safety, and accountability. Every perspective matters, and this story reminds us that ordinary people can display extraordinary courage when faced with injustice and threat. If this story moved you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Tailcraft. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any real-life stories that combine suspense, courage, and justice. Remember, strength isn't always loud, and the quietest individuals often possess the greatest power. Stay vigilant, trust in preparation, and never underestimate the potential within yourself or those who stand with you.